I certainly believe that every woman has a story to tell.
I believe every woman and every girl has a story to tell.
Every human being has a story to tell.
Well, I mentioned chemotherapy. Well, I did lose my hair. But the funny thing about it is, my cat lost her hair too.
In general, I'm not a movie star, I'm not a politician.
Butterflies are pretty, they make me smile.
I'll tell you about this group of girlfriends I have.
Inquire within. Oh, I love it. So I got it. It's inside of us.
I decided to give myself the gift of riding the bike across the United States. So literally, as I was crossing the Wyoming border, I had this illuminating idea flood me. And I knew at that moment that I was going to begin a theater. They would be featuring women and girls, and they would be telling their own personal, powerful stories. Well, 3,000 miles later, I got back in Tampa, and Power Stories Theater was born.
It's
going to turn into an ugly, large-nosed black girl.
The real theme of the work that we do is simply to help people recapture the stories of their lives and then tell them. And we hear a wide variety of stories.
Along with the weight loss plan, I had to have a plan for the rest of me.
People talk about experiences that are simple and funny, mostly universal things, and then they tell very traumatic stories where they had to really dig deep and find that message of their story.
And her daughter, who worked at the World Trade Center, is missing. When she had
Seeking and knowing your stories is really empowering for your life. Our lives are so full of things that have happened to us, and trying to find the path of the most significant thing can be a challenge. But what was fascinating to me about the process was that there just came a point where it all just rose up. You know, when everything that I was wondering about and thinking about, it just, the things that were really important to say, they just rose to the surface, and I knew this is the story, this is the message that I have to share.
In this hat, I'm me.
Now, the telling of the story is very important because it gives individuals a chance to know they have lived something worth telling.
Today, I'm not only an advocate for my children, but for all children. If someone would have told me at my age I was going to be an actress, I would have said, you are smoking something. They're like snowflakes. They're multifaceted and beautiful. And once I got through the first night, it was like, this is great. And it wasn't about me anymore. And it wasn't about whether it was right or wrong. It was about sharing it with other people. Make Room for Daddy, that was my favorite TV show.
Girls are the women of tomorrow. The ability to begin with young women who are looking for ways in which they can find voice, help their communication skills, and really build their self-esteem.
We offer speaking and theater classes for hundreds of young girls, at-risk girls in our community.
Let me tell you about one of my greatest success stories. The first week I walked in, she looked at the floor. She didn't speak. She was afraid to say her name. By the end of our 9 weeks together, she was able to tell a story of herself and her family, and I could probably hear her say her name from across the schoolyard.
Plot of Power Stories Theater is getting juicier.
Oh my gosh, Catherine, what are you wearing?
Oh, it was clean, and besides, my husband loves the shirt.
We are finally realizing our dream of taking one of our shows on the road.
Superwoman is now hot, tired, wet, and irritated. Yep, it's menopause.
Bernadette's Bravo.
Bernadette represents every woman, and Bravo, each woman's excellence.
The music is by Janet Scaglione.
Bravo, inquire within.
Inhale, exhale, hard to breathe.
All my life I've been searching for my happy ever after.
We we have been rewarded by standing ovations and sold-out crowds.
I came out totally enthralled with the whole thing. It was exciting. It made me feel good to be a woman.
I have rarely, if ever, been so impressed by any stage or any kind of theatrical production. We had real people telling real stories.
The show inspired me, it motivated me, it made me want to tell my own story.
And you walk out of there feeling better about yourself, and that's a service.
The board of directors of Power Stories Theater definitely dreams big.
I can see Power Stories around the world, connecting young people all over the world.
We had this vision of every city, large or small, having a Power Stories entity. Power Stories comes to town, we perform, the community loves the results of the show, someone from the community wants to become a facilitator, and then they get to train their young girls and their women on stage so that they too can see them performing and see shows beginning with Once Upon a Time.
Let the power of the story simply begin with you.
Every once upon a time, for I can learn from your life and you can learn from mine.
There's power to your story.